The year is 2021. I'm just a whippersnapper. At the age of 25, figuring out my way through life, I had just discovered disc golf, and there was one fairway driver that I absolutely fell in love with. We were like this, we were connected, we were bonded, and it's an MVP driver that I've literally never even heard someone talk about. Since then, I've never seen someone else throw it, but I love it, and that disc is the MVP Inertia. So take a journey with me down memory lane as we throw the Inertia all over the course today. I literally haven't thrown one in many years. We're gonna see how it flies, see if it's the right disc for you. We're also gonna compare it to the very popular Axiom Insanity. Should be a good time, so let's jump into it. So the Inertia has the numbers 9-5, -2 turn, 2 fade. So it's a high-speed fairway driver with a good amount of understability. This hole usually is a 342-foot backhand turnover that needs to be turning the entire flight to the right. But someone just moved all the baskets to the gold pro position, so a little bit further. It's like 380 probably. Needs to turn, but still come back a little bit at the end. Yeah, there's all that turn and coming back for us at the end. That's exactly what we wanted. That's gonna set us up for a great birdie shot. My first throw with an Inertia in like 4 years, huge success. If we thrown that lower, probably would have saw a little more turn and run the risk of going out of bounds right. There's all sorts of water over there, but this set us up really well for a little approach, easy 3 birdie. But all of that understability is really why I connected with this disc so much when I was just starting out in disc golf. If you don't have a lot of arm speed, targeting a disc with a lot of understability right out of the box is great for hitting those distance lines. And holes like this, a 460-foot par 3 downhill tunnel shot. Got to keep it very straight for at least the first like 150 feet off the tee pad. Basket's been pushed back again, so it's a long one. But I feel like the Inertia has enough understability out of the box where we can hyzer flip this without too much trouble. There we go. Ooh, we love that. Flip up the flat, just riding straight. That's gonna set us up in a great spot. Definite par there. If there's a driver that you really fell in love with as a beginner, but maybe don't throw as much now, let me know what that is down below in the comments. I feel like it's fun to kind of revisit a disc that I may not have thrown in a long time and relive some of the magic. And I'm freaking sweating out here. We're getting that New Year's heat wave. So we're shedding a layer. We're gonna compare the Inertia to the Insanity. The Insanity has the numbers 9-5 and -2 turn, 1.5 fade. So the only difference in flight numbers between these two discs is that the Inertia has 0.5 fade more than the Insanity. Both of these 170 grams, so should be a pretty good comparison. We're at a 936-foot par 5, the behemoth hole. All that flip up off the hyzer release. You'll love to see it. This is so easy to hyzer flip. Tons of distance there. That sets us up in a great spot. And what makes no sense to me about this disc is that it's really not at all popular, whereas the Insanity is so similar and is probably one of MVP's best-selling drivers. I don't actually have any of that data, but I'd have to imagine this is up there in the popularity scale for their lineup. And we got the Insanity, tons of flip as well, very similar flight, just threw that a lot lower, so we don't see that fade out. Had I thrown that with the same height as the Inertia, we would have saw more of that fade out at the end, but both very flippy right out of the box. Because the Insanity is getting all sorts of special editions. It's usually quickly run in all their new plastic blends. The Inertia gets no love from MVP. Wouldn't surprise me if they end up discontinuing the Inertia, honestly. Yeah, hyzer flips all the way over. Yeah, coming in hot. I would throw the Insanity here, but we got a couple guys right on our tail. We will be throwing the Insanity more. Now we're in a perfect spot to attack for a birdie. You just gotta wrap it around this cluster of trees. Basket's a little bit off to the left. This is definitely not a great shot for the Insanity, but rather the Inertia. But if we put it on enough hyzer, we should be okay. Yeah, that's actually really solid. Just floats. These have great glide, and that skips up right near the basket. I think that is pretty much a tap in. I also have the flu right now, and I'm literally just holding on to the brink of my consciousness, trying not to let go. New year, new flu, you know? That's not gonna stop us because we have if I do my math right, 500-ish foot par 4. This is another one where they pushed the basket back recently. Started out pretty straight, but you gotta curve a little bit to the left at the end. So the only way we can accomplish that with a more understable disc is, again, with a hyzer flip. So starting with the Inertia here. Flips up to flat, off the hyzer, still riding to the left. That's very solid. I am not upset about that at all. Probably wanted a little more turn, a little more movement to the right, and then come back to the left to really maximize the distance. But it's not quite that understable. You can still throw it hard on hyzer and trust that it's not gonna turn into a roller or anything like that. Let's go Insanity. Yeah, you see that turn? Oh, he snuck through a sneaky gap. And probably the same exact distance as that Inertia, but we saw a little bit more turn throughout the flight, so it ended up a little bit to the right. So yeah, the Insanity and Inertia went literally the exact same distance, probably down to the meter. We got a shot here that is not built for either of these discs. So we're gonna go resistor on the forehand, see if we can park this for an easy putt. Looks solid, get a little skip over there. Yep, there we go. Now I've been throwing mostly hyzer flips so far, but this is a good hole to really show what a flatter shot will do as far as turn goes. And we'll start with the Inertia. We'll also throw the Insanity. This is a 540-ish foot par 4, OB all to the left, so you gotta get some turn off the tee. Look at all that turn going way to the right and a little bit of fade out at the end. Lots of distance. And because we're kind of on that left side, it gives us a lot of options. It really sets us up for our pick of the litter on the next shot. Let's go Insanity. I'd say a little bit less turn than that Inertia. Now the Insanity is proton, the Inertia is neutron. There can be slight differences run to run. I do feel like just for my testing today, that Inertia is a little bit more flippy, which is the opposite of what you'd think based on the numbers, but they're pretty similar. Now they went nearly the exact same distance, Inertia just a little bit further right, out of bounds all to the left here, so we gotta keep this Inertia well to the right on some anhyzer. There you go, you can see all that turn. That's gonna be a great shot. It's gonna set us up inside circle one. Well, a little bit outside of circle, actually faded out a little bit at the end. And we just barely went off of this cliff side right outside of circle. So technically out of bounds, but we're not in the water, so that's good. And if you think the Inertia would be a good addition to your bag, then you can check out this channel's sponsor, Disc Golf Deals USA. And you can use my affiliate link in the description below to get 10% off your entire order. They have a great website, an enormous selection of discs, good customer service. You get 10% off, you support the channel, pretty sick. For me to hit a tunnel like this, I basically have to hyzer flip, so works out good for our Inertia. Flipped up, but I threw that really gently, and we see that fade out at the end. Now let's try Insanity on that same angle. Yeah, pops up. We're gonna hit that little hill. That's gonna stop most of our forward momentum, but that's fine. Honestly, the biggest difference between these two discs might be the hand feel. Oh, or in my opinion, the Insanity has a very unique hand feel where it is insanely flat, no pun intended. Like the distance between the edge of the wing and the top of the disc is really minimal. There's almost no shoulder. It's just a very subtle shoulder here, then just goes board flat. It is crazy flat. Whereas the Inertia, while it's still a flat disc, you definitely have more of a shoulder here. It's a little bit raised. and it has just more of what I would consider a traditional hand feel. And while MVP is known for having flat discs, the Insanity still stands out as being very, very flat. Because of that, I'd say that I prefer the hand feel of the Inertia. I really feel like the stabilities are extremely similar. Like I said earlier, they're gonna change run to run, plastic to plastic, but in general, your average Inertia and Insanity will be pretty similar flight-wise. But the Insanity, it's got that colored rim. You know, the Inertia being MVP, got the black rim. I honestly feel like that's part of the reason why the Insanity is way more popular. Axiom discs in general, I feel like, have just exploded in popularity compared to their MVP counterparts. So if you've thrown the Inertia or the Insanity, let me know what you think of them down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you consider liking and subscribing. We are on our way to 4,000 subscribers. We're getting closer every day. 4,000 would be awesome, so join the Flying Fajita family. You can also follow me on Instagram at Flying Fajita Disc Golf or UDisc Community at Flying Fajita. As always, guys, I love you, take care, and I'll see you next time.